Okay, everybody. This is this is technically for physics, but if you whatever subject you're using it for, just going to go through unit conversions, how to do them, how to set them up, and all that. We're going to start off with an idea. Okay, that let's look here. Let's say we're starting here. Let's say you've got 5,000 meters. How many kilometers is that? Well, we know that 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, so this is going to be 5 kilometers. All right. 24 feet to yards. Well, how many feet are in a yard? 3. So you do 24 divided by 3 and you would get 8 yards. Down here, let's do yards to inches. 5 yards, going to change that to inches. So this is a little bit harder because you got to use yards to feet. And so 5 yards is how many feet? Well, 3 times 15. And then you would do 15 times 12. Well, 15 times 12 is, let's do it. 15 times 12. Yeah, I know what it is, but I'm doing it for you anyway. 30, 150. So it's 180 inches. Okay. Well, we're going to show you a more organized way to do this. Okay. So here we go. How would I change? We're going to do these one at a time. We're going to do this one first. I'm going to change 5 times 10 to the 7th meters to centimeters. Well, what you do, and this is just one conversion thing, so what you do is when you're doing a unit conversion, or people call it different things, but that's what we're going to be going with. We're going to put what we start with right here, 5 times 10 to the 7th, and you want to be in scientific notation when you're doing this, meters, and we're going to change that to centimeters. Now here, we're going to change it by multiplying by 1. What that means is I want to cancel out the meters and turn it to centimeters, right? Which means I've got to put the meter down here so that they cancel. Now, this is where you're doing it multiplying by 1. 1 meter is how many centimeters? 100, right? Which is 1 times 10 to the second. These two things are equal to each other, okay? 1 times 10 to the second centimeters equals 1 meter. So they cancel each other out. You're multiplying by 1, in effect. Now, let's do the actual, let's do the coefficients. 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 1 is 5. And it's going to be times 10 to what power? Well, what's 10 to the 5th times 10 squared is 10 to the 7th. And that's in centimeters. Okay. Here, kilograms to grams. Again, we're only doing one conversion. Let's try that again. We're doing one conversion. Okay. I'm going to put the kilograms up here. All right. That is where you start with these every time. So 3.1 times 10 to the negative 4 kilograms. Now, because the kilograms up here, I'm going to cancel it out down here. So 1 kilogram is how many grams? It's 1 times 10 to the third grams. Kilograms cancel. 3.1 times 1 divided by 1 is 3.1. And it's going to be times 10 to what power? Well, you've got 10 to the negative 4 and 10 to the third, so that's 10 to the negative 1, and you're in grams. What you can do as we go through these is go ahead and stop the video. So before I do this one, I want you to stop the video and go see if you can do this one before I show it to you. This one's a little bit harder. You got to cross over the unit, but we're gonna do this in 2 steps. Okay, go ahead and give it a try. Okay, if you're back, let's go ahead and go through this. We're going to do this in 2 steps because we cross over the unit. So 7.2 times 10 to the third kiloliters is what we're doing. Now, we're going to change kiloliters. You can change kiloliters to milliliters if you know what you're doing, but let's go to liters first. So 1 kiloliter is 1 times 10 to the third liters. 10 to the third. Okay, kiloliters are gone. Now you've got liters, but I want milliliters. So 1 liter is 1 times 10 to the third milliliters. Liters cancel. So it's 7.2 times 1 divided by 1 is 7.2. And it's times 10. 10 to the third times 10 to the third times 10 to the third is 10 to the ninth. And that's in milliliters. Okay, with me so far? Good. Micrograms to picograms or picograms. Yep, if you're like me, you have trouble remembering what some of them are. So I am going to go in and get a metric system chart. I'll never feel bad about having to do that. No matter what level you get to, you're always going to need to look things up. Okay. So mega is 10 to the sixth, micro is 10 to the or pico is 10 to the negative 12th. So megagrams, 1 megagram is 1 times 10 to the sixth grams. Oh, no, it's not pico, it's peta. And 1 petagram is 1 times 10 to the, I believe it's ninth, but let me look again. Peta is, no, it's to the 15th. 15th grams. So we have 10 to the negative 6 megagrams, 6.23 times 10 to the negative 6 megagrams. We're going to change it to petagrams. Now, that's 1 petagram is going to be 10 to the ninth megagrams because there's a difference of 9 here. Okay, so this is how it would look. Put your initial right here, 6.23 times 10 to the negative 6th megagrams. And then you would say you want to change megagrams to petagrams. Petagram is bigger, so we'll put the 1 there. And this is a difference of 10 to the ninth. So it's going to be 1 times 10 to the ninth megagrams. 6.23 times 1 divided by 1 is 6.23. The megagrams are gone. Your unit is going to be in petagrams. So this is times 10 to the, now 10 to the negative 6 divided by 10 to the ninth is 10 to the negative 15th. And that's in petagrams. Okay. 3.2 times 10 to the fourth miles to kilometers. Okay. Some of you might know it's 1.6 is your conversion. Okay. So 3.2 times 10 to the fourth miles, and 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. So let's do 3.2 times 1.6, just a moment. 3.2 times 1.6, 5.1. So this gives you 5.1 times 10 to the fourth kilometers. Here, your miles are canceled. Okay. So that's how that one looks. Let's do a few more. Right now, up until now, we've just been changing one dimension. Now we're going to change 2 things. Here we're going to change meters per second to miles per hour. Okay. Now the way you set this up, it will be a little different. And also because we're doing meters to miles and seconds to hours, there are going to be 2 conversions that happen. So we're going to have 3 spaces here. Okay. So start off here, 3 times 10 to the 8th. Now, my meters will go out top, but it's per second, so seconds goes on the bottom, and that's critical, okay? Now, let's change meters to miles. Well, meters to miles. How many meters are in 1 mile. Well, it's 1.6 times 10 to the third. 1.6 kilometers is 1,600 meters, okay? So right there, we got rid of meters and we've got miles. Now let's change seconds to hours. Seconds would be up top in order for it to cancel, and hours would be on the bottom. Hours bigger, so let's put a 1. How many seconds are in an hour? Well, you do 60 times 60 is 3,600. We're going to write that in scientific notation. Okay, 3.6 times 10 to the third. Let's do that right. Okay, so now what we have to do is, okay, our seconds canceled. We've got miles per hour. That's what we wanted. Hey, here's a 10 to the third and a 10 to the third. Those can cancel. And you're left with 3 times 3.6 divided by 1.6. So